Welcome to everyone. Today, Jamal Graham is our guest or the popular Otis. Thank you again for accepting the invitation. And today we're gonna talk about UFC Paris. We got some fights, pretty much weird fights coming up on this card. And honestly, some fights are pretty much a big surprise to me. I've seen pretty much weird matchmaking, but I think this is the best of the best. Like William Gomez versus Jorno Aarons. For me, this is like a really 50-50 fight. I'd gladly go with no distance, but if I must pick a side, I would probably win the home competitor because if it goes the distance, they rarely don't give it to a home competitor. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with William Gomez as well here. This was quite short notice. Both guys coming in making their UFC debut. Well, and William Gomez is a good man. He had that good fight at Aries. He came in as a big underdog against Tobias Sarila on Cage Warriors. He won that fight decisively, looked good in that fight with his kickboxing. But John Owens is putting the work. He's a Dutch guy. I think he's 13-3 is his record. He's competed at Brave CF, EFC down in South Africa, UAE Warriors. So he's putting his reps around the world, and I do respect that. But I'm going to go with William Gomez here by unanimous decision. Good fight to start off the card. I'm pretty sure it's the first fight to kick off the card anyway. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. I would also go with Gomez if I must pick a side. The next fight, I have to make a confrontation between my mind and my heart because we got Aileen Perez versus Stephanie Egger, and my mind is telling Stephanie Egger, but I'm a die-hard fan of Aileen Perez. I know she fought in Argentina. I know Argentinian promotions are like not even close to Cage Warriors, but I want her to win so badly, man. But again, my common sense and my mind is telling Stephanie Egger because of a ground game. What do you think?
I'm going with Stephanie Egger as well. I'm going to go for a TKO in the second round, ground and pound, elbows on top. Obviously, she did fight very recently. That kind of weird fight against Maya Bueno Silva, where she got armbarred in the first round, and it was a bit controversial. Didn't really know whether she tapped or not, but that will go down as a loss. Aileen Perez experience, she's only got one loss, but I'm a bit unfamiliar. I have watched some of her fights, but I think this might be a bit too much too soon. She was originally maybe fighting Zara Fern, who I think was a bit more of a good matchup to start her UFC career. But like I just said, Stephanie Egger I think it's got to be a bit too much too soon. So Egger TKO in the seconds is what I'm going to go with here.
I would also go with Egger inside the distance, but like kind of hard to pick around because this is mind against heart, you know. As a die-hard fan of Aileen Perez, very hard to pick against her, but that's it. Khalid Taha versus Christian Quinones. I'm leaning Taha in this fight. You?
Mm-hmm. Same. I'm going with Taha by decision. Quinones is tough though. I mean, most Mexicans are, apart from Luis Alcatraz Pineda. I'm pretty sure they're all pretty tough guys. But Quinones is meant to fight on the San Diego card against Yusuf Zalal. I think got scraps coming in here against Khalid Taha. Taha's tough, man. We've seen that Jaime Barcelos fight, how tough the guy is. Pretty trustworthy against lower level guys. I think there's definitely a level where Khalid Taha struggles. Repping Lebanon here. I'm going to, yeah, like I said, Khalid Taha unanimous decision. I've fun because Khalid Taha is guaranteed a good fight. Let's be honest here. So I'm looking forward to this one. Quinones has got to bring it to their scrap anyway. So this could be maybe fight tonight, but Khalid Taha has got to decide with you.
I have to say, when it comes to the fight of the night, that I a bit disagree with you because the fight of the night for me is going to be probably Benoit Saint-Denis versus Gabriel Miranda because Benoit Saint-Denis is the guy. I've never seen a guy who's so hard to knock out. You've seen what happened at his UFC debut, and I have to go with Saint-Denis via decision because of his elite level of toughness, very hard to finish him. And no matter how hard you hit, Benoit Saint-Denis keeps marching forward. Like, he's not a human. I was thinking he's a zombie in that fight against Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos.
I'm going to go with Benoit Saint-Denis by second round submission, rear naked choke. Once again, another UFC debut here for Gabriel Miranda. Tough, faced good competition. I'd like that. He's got a good record, very balanced out with the wins and the losses. But like you said, Saint-Denis, like a zombie against Luis Zaleski dos Santos. Got the win last time out by submission. He was on the feet before that fight with Zaleski. Tough guy. Decent striking. I don't think Gabriel Miranda's got the level of striking that Zaleski does, so I think he should be safe in the feet and a very experienced ground game, a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Second round submission for Benoit Saint-Denis is what I'm going to go for.
Next fight, Nasruddin Imam versus Joaquin Buckley. One way or another, somebody's gonna get knocked out in this fight. Both of these guys are not known for great defense, but both of these guys are known for perfect offense. So my pick is no distance. Must pick a side because of my friend Range. fan of Joaquin Buckley, but I will have to go Imavov. I think Imavov blocks those kicks pretty much well, and I think he's not hitting too many unnecessary shots. I think this one could go in the favor of Imavov. What do you say?
I'm going to go Nasty Namavov, TKO on the third from the crucifix position, elbowing in Joaquin Buckley. But this is a very close fight. I don't know why this fight is so loud on the card. I feel like this should be like the featured fight or on the main card at the very least. But it is what it is. Don't want to get the fans in the building watching early as well. But like you said, Amavov can get hit. Even against Jordan Williams, we've seen that Amavov can be open for shots. He lost to Vilhos as well. Took some shots in the first one against Edmund Shabazian. And Buckley's got the power with the hands and the feet, like we've seen against Impic Sangai, one of the most viral KOs of all time. And he can get it done with his hands as well. We've seen that against Antonio Arroyo, against Jordan Wright. Bust up Albert Duraev to a doctor stoppage. But I think Amavov's got to get this one done. A bit of a bad matchup, just stylistically for Buckley. If this fight hits the ground, I think it's definitely going to be an Amavov favourite. I'm going to see a tough couple of 2 rounds there at the start, maybe go either way, but then eventually it's going to be too much for Buckley. TKO in the third for Amavov.
And now the next fight. This is my favorite fight of the night. Favorite fight for me. We've got another Cage Warriors, guys. Michal Figlak joining the UFC circuit. He's meeting Fares Ziam. We know Fares Ziam is hard to finish, but I'm all in Michal Figlak, so I believe Figlak can finish him, actually. I see it as a Figlak via late finish. What do you say?
I say I've got him by TKO in the second round here. Figlak, Team Violent Money, his brother, Mateus, is still in Cage Wars, but he's undefeated. We just seen him beat former Cage Wars champion Agi Sardari on the Cage Wars London card. He beat Stevie McIntosh before that, Stephen Hooper. Good wins up to that point. He's good. He's very tough. He's down for a scrap. And I'm not really sure I rate Fares Ziam's defence. He got cut quite badly against Luigi Vendramini. I feel like that fight could be a draw to a certain point, honestly. We've seen him struggle, guys, like Jamie Malarkey as well. Had a really competitive back and forth clinch battle against Don Madge in Abu Dhabi that he lost. To make it too close with guys who I think are on the same level of Figlak to pick up against them. So Michael Figlak, TKO in the second tier. I think he's got to make some waves in his debut, and people want to take notice of his name here.
Yeah, definitely agree. Now, the next fight that I'm gonna say, Dustin Stoltzfus versus Abusupyan Magomedov. I'm gonna be honest, Abusupyan Magomedov is too overrated guy. Like, people are saying like, oh, he was PFL fighter, he won PFL. So what if he won, man? Dustin Stoltzfus is in his prime right now. I do believe that this shouldn't be a hard task for Dustin Stoltzfus. Hence, I believe Dustin Stoltzfus via late finish, though.
I'm going to go with, this is a tough one, I'm going to go with Abu Magomedov by unanimous decision. There are a couple unknowns about Magomedov about whether he can really step up to that UFC level competition. I probably would pick against Abu if it was a bit of a tougher matchup. I still don't massively rate Dustin Stoltzfus. I know he did beat Dwight Grant last time out, but close fight with Kyle Dawkins that at the start of the fight was getting very dominated. They made it a bit close towards the end, but then lost to Dawkins. Just a bit too hit and miss, got submitted by Gerald Mearshot. I like the unknown factor for Abu that he could come in and look better than we've ever seen him before. Maybe Abu fights to the level of competition, like you said, was at the PFL, won there. Just beat a couple of good guys recently over in Eastern Europe. I'm going to go with Abusupyan Magomedov by unanimous decision, but definitely a fight not to bet on, very close in my opinion, and could go either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Charles Jourdain versus Nathaniel Wood. This is another candidate for the fight of the night. And again, I'm in a pretty much sticky situation because I do believe this fight is going to go over 2.5. I'm a big fan of Charles Jourdain, but again, Nathaniel Wood can take a beating. I really wonder which guy can take more beating out of these two. I believe these two guys are not even... I believe we're going to see an old school fight, if you know what I mean. Like, we can get back to the year 2000, to the year 1998, when people were not moving to the side, you know, when they were just standing and banging, when they were throwing everything they had on each other. What do you think about it?
I think definitely for a guaranteed scrap right here. I mean, I'm talking about fight tonight. This probably might take fight tonight as well. I'm going to go Charles Jourdain by unanimous decision. I think he takes damage a bit better than Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood had moved up to featherweight in his last fight against Charles Rosa, but he couldn't really get more different of a style than from Charles Rosa to Charles Jourdain, despite the fact they both got the same first name. Very different in styles. Rosa's a tough guy, but Jourdain has a lot better output, and he's a lot more likely to put you down with some of his punches. Nathaniel Wood, you've seen him drop before against John Dodson. John Dodson's a flyweight, so I mean, if he can put you down, I think if Charles Jourdain connects with the right shots he can, I think he might drop Nathaniel Wood maybe one of the later rounds here. But I don't see this being a boring fight at all. Both guys always brilliant. I don't think I've had a bone fight between the two of them. So I'm going to go Jordan unanimous decision. Expect fireworks right here.
Yeah, you can definitely expect fireworks. And you can also expect fireworks in the match between Nasrat Hakparast and John Makdessi. But here I have Hakparast via unanimous decision because I really think Hakparast is going to play a tactical game against John Makdessi. And John Makdessi's kicks are not going to be able to make much of problems to Nasrat Hakparast. So unfortunately, as a fan of John Makdessi, it's hard to pick against him. But I have to go with over 2.5 or Hakparast via UD. What do you say?
I agree completely. I'm actually also going to go with Najrat by unanimous decision. John McDessie, he's good, and he did surprise me against Ignacio Bahamondes, but that was his last fight, and that was well over a year ago. We've seen him really get clipped by shots, of course, that spinning back kick by Orlando Vanat, the head kick by Cowboy Cerrone. He can lose close fights, like against Francisco Ronaldo. He had a close fight there, a close striking back and forth, and he lost that one. But Nasrat Hakparast, he struggled with the upper level lightweight like Dan Hooker. We've seen him not be able to get the better of, but I don't think Dan Hooker's a good step above John McDessie. I think he's going to get this one done. Like I said, a bit of a more patient striking match. Nasrat can do that all day. He looked good against Rafa Garcia, looked good against Alexander Munoz, chinned Joaquim Silva. These are the type of guys who I think John McDessie's just about the same level as. So yeah, I think we both agree on this one. Nasrat by unanimous decision.
Next fight kinda scares the shit out of me, man. We got Alessio Di Chirico versus Roman Kopilov. If you wanna bet, stay away from this fight because Alessio Di Chirico is super unpredictable, and Roman Kopilov is also sometimes he fights like he's fighting with the champion, sometimes he loses to the greatest underdog. So I really don't know what to say in this fight. Maybe fight starts round 3, or to pick a side, maybe to go with Kopilov if you want to risk. I don't know who's the underdog here, but I would put even odds here because both of these guys are super unpredictable. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a split decision here. A split decision win for Alessio Di Chirico. It's a tough fight, man, to pick because, like you said, both guys are pretty hit and miss. I've seen Di Chirico lose to guys like Zach Cummins, but then knock out Joaquin Buckley. It's either got to get the best Di Chirico you've ever seen or the worst. And same with Roman Kopilov. You know, he came in very young against Carl Roberson. Looked okay in that fight and got finished. Had a close fight with Albert Duraev as well. He's had a couple of cancelled fights against like likes of Sam Alvey, which I'm assuming he would have won anyway. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Chirico here. But it's just, who do we expect to show up? Well, if it's the best the Chirico and the best Kopilov, I think the Chirico wins. But we could get the best Kopilov I've ever seen before, and the kind of like the more slacking the Chirico that showed up against Zach Cummins. It's a tough fight. Don't bet this one. It's a very risky one. Probably the most 50-50 fight in the card. But that's why I'm picking split decision. So I'm going to lean with the Chirico. I think he's a bit more consistent against better competition.
Yeah, agree 100%. Now the next one, Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vettori. I have Whittaker via UD. That's what I have here.
I mean, I agree as well. I've got mine in this position. I think this is one of the better matchups for him at middleweight. Vettori, he's good at taking shots, not the best at pressuring guys and getting them against the cage. I've always got to get working down. I don't see him outstriking Whittaker for 3 rounds. I don't really see him hurting Whittaker either. I think this is a pretty safe bet. I mean, I love Vettori, man. I don't know how you can't love Vettori. He's a very exciting guy. He's a very good personality. But I think it's pretty safe to say Whittaker's got this one done. Unless Vettori can maybe catch him and then get him to the ground, submit him. I don't really see that happening, though. It's a risky one to even think about picking Vettori, but I'm glad I really for Whittaker here. It's hard to say the most convincing fight in the entire card because both guys are pretty high level. But I feel pretty confident in picking Robert Whittaker here. I really hope he gets the one done as well because I feel like Robert Whittaker beat Israel Adesanya, and I feel like he deserves this one to get it done. So yeah, I hope he gets one done, man. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to the main card, Cyril Gane versus Taito Iwasa, people gonna say never count Taito Iwasa out, and it makes sense. The guy knocked out Derek Lewis. He scored some of the greatest knockouts ever, and people are actually big fans of his shoes, but Cyril Gane is fighting in front of his home lads, so if he loses in front of his home fans, it would have been a massive upset. I have Cyril Gane potentially via championship round finish.
Yeah, I'm saying that as well. I'll say TKO in the 3rd round. I would like to say I'm rooting for Taito Iwasa, man, but Cyril Gane is my boy, man. I love Cyril Gane. He's my favourite heavyweight right now. Cyril Gane's probably one of my more favourite active fighters right now. There's not a heavyweight in the planet moves like him. Tom Aspinall's getting there, but I think Cyril Gane's still a bit more elusive and the feet doesn't get hit quite as much. In my opinion, the man's still undefeated. I thought they beat Francis Ngannou pretty clearly. It could be 10-0 right now. It could be the heavyweight champion of all, but it is what it is. We move. I think he's got to get this one done by TK in the third round, up against the cage, front kicks, body kicks, elbows, Tuivasa to cover up. I don't see Tuivasa going out cold. He's a very tough guy. He took some absolute bombs off Derek Lewis, but I mean, Tuivasa is not unhittable. We seen him get dropped by Blagojevinov. Blagojevinov dropped him. Junior Dos Santos finished him, and after dropping him, he can be hurt. We seen him get ragdolled pretty badly by Sergey Spivak. And don't sleep on Cyril Gane's jiu-jitsu. Got a heel hook against Dontel Mays, got the arm triangle against Rafael Pessoa. Looked a bit inexperienced against Ngannou, but I think it's just because Ngannou's so heavy on top. I don't see Tuivasa getting on top of him in this fight at all. So yes, Cyril Gane, TK in the third round. I really could like either guys win this fight. I'm a big fan of both guys, but Cyril Gane, similar to Robert Whittaker, I thought he won his last fight and could be the champion of the world right now under different circumstances. But as what that is, and I'm going to go Cyril Gane.
Yeah, I'm also going with Cyril Gane. So this is going to be a very fun card to pick, and I'm so glad you accepted the invitation. I hope we are going to have another Cage Warriors show soon, and thank you so much. I will put it to creation now, and tomorrow I'm gonna make a premiere. I will send you exactly which time.
Mm-hmm. Can I say something quickly?
Yep.
I am making a challenge. I am challenging Swarms to a boxing match whenever he wants, wherever he wants. 3 3-minute rounds. We're going to do it. You're done. You can't run from me. I'm like 3 weight classes below you. I'm like getting way younger than you. Swarms, you cannot duck me. I'm coming for you, Swarms. I will finish you wherever, whenever. You're done.
Let's go, Swarms. You've heard the call out. Let's go now. Fight this guy and let's see how brave you really are.
Let's go, Swarms. You're done. You're in the ground. It's over.
Absolutely. Anything else to say? Got anybody else to challenge?
Swarms is done. When I finish with Swarms, anyone can get it. Swarms is the first one, though, and then Luis Alcatraz Pereira can get flattened in Mexico or down to his hometown in Guadalajara. Let's go. Jamal's on the rise.
Oh, Jamal is definitely gonna be on the rise. Thank you so much for this. Tomorrow we have this premiere call out, and we will see how this call out looks like. I will edit the video for tomorrow. Let's go. Thank you so much for being a guest of mine.
Let's go, Vlad. Love you, man.